The rule was simple: open the red ledger at midnight, leave it on the table, and under no circumstances read any other page. I took the night job because I was desperate. A master's degree in library science doesn't buy you much, especially when your life savings just vanished into a cryptocurrency scam. So when my old professor, Mr. Abdul, called with an offer, graveyard shift at the university records vault, pay deposited in advance, I didn't ask questions. I just showed up. He gave me a single sheet of paper, a list of rules. The pay was obscenely good, and the only condition was obedience. I read Rule 5 twice. At midnight, I was to enter the vault, go to row D, and open a specific red ledger to its last written page. I was to leave it open on a reading table with the lamp on. At 2 a.m., I was to return, close it, and put it back. The text was bold, parts underlined in red. Do not read any other page. I figured it was some weird archival ritual, a tradition. I needed the money. I decided to be the guy who followed the rules. The vault was a tomb of forgotten paper, rows of metal shelves disappearing into the gloom. On row D, alone on a middle shelf, sat the ledger. It was massive, the cover a cracked, aged crimson. At midnight, I did as I was told. I opened it to the last written page. The left column was a list of names, the right column dates and times. The handwriting was cramped, intense, and at the very top of that last page was a name, Abdul Hamid. That was my professor's full name. The date listed was 5 days from that night. The time was 3:13 a.m. My throat went dry. It's a common name, I told myself, a statistically common name. I forced myself to walk away, back to my scanning station in Bay 3. I followed the routine. Every night, I'd open the ledger, leave it, and return at 2 a.m. to close it. And every night, there were new names. 3, 4, sometimes 5 new entries on that last page. I wasn't reading them, but you can't help but notice the lines filling up. It made no sense. No one else came in. Who was writing them? On the 5th morning, the day shift supervisor was late. She arrived looking flustered. Mr. Abdul was dead. He'd slipped on a wet roof during the rain the previous night. Around 3 in the morning, I didn't say a word. I finished my shift and sat on the pavement outside, numb. The night watchman was leaving. I stopped him. I told him about the ledger, about the rules that felt wrong. He listened, then he chuckled softly. Those scanning machines are hella loud, sir. If you want to hear something that bad, try turning them off. He walked away. That 6th night, I did it. At midnight, I performed the ritual. I opened the ledger, saw 3 new names I didn't recognize, and went back to Bay 3. Then I turned off the deafening hum of the scanners. The silence that followed was absolute and heavy. It pressed down on the old building. Then at 1:45, I heard it. A low, rhythmic rumbling, like something massive shifting its weight. It wasn't the machines. They were off. The sound got louder, and then the lights began to flicker, not a power surge. This was a wave of darkness. One light after another, in a perfect sequence starting from the far end of the main library, each one dipping for a split second as the next one followed, creating a ripple of shadow moving straight toward the vault corridor. It reached the hall outside the vault and stopped. The silence returned. I let out a shaky breath, feeling like an idiot, and then slowly the heavy vault door creaked shut. I ran to it. It wasn't locked. It was just shut, solid, immovable. Like it had become part of the wall, and from inside I heard laughter. It wasn't human laughter. It was a sound that seemed to warp the air in the room, echoing in patterns that hurt to hear. It got louder, then softer, like something was breathing it in and out. It was a sound that made my skin want to crawl off my bones. I ran. I sprinted through the library to the main security door. The watchman was on the other side of the glass, reading a paper. The door was chained. I slammed my palms against it. "Let me out, there's something in there." He looked up, utterly calm. "Shift ends at Koche Ainus 9 a.m., sir. It's not human." "You have to help me." He folded his newspaper carefully. "Sir, please cooperate. You're not the only one with rules to follow." I was trapped. I went back. The lights were normal. The vault door was open again, swinging gently. It was 1:20 a.m. I walked in. The ledger was open on the table, 3 new names. I was past caring. I broke the rule. I turned to the previous page. Names, dates, times. I flipped back further through years and years of that tight, dense script, and then I saw it. A name I knew, Rebecca Roy. The date, the time, it matched perfectly. I knew because I'd correctly predicted her fatal car accident in that stupid prediction market app. It was all here, written down before it happened. I found Mr. Abdul's entry again, 5 days after my first shift, 3:13 a.m. I stood there in the cold, silent vault, and I understood. This ledger wasn't a record, it was a list. A schedule, and Mr. Abdul had seen his own name on it. That's why he called me, the most obedient student he could find. He needed someone to take the keys before his time was up. At 2 a.m. on the dot, I closed the ledger. I placed it back on the shelf. I turned off the lamp, left the vault, and locked the door. I turned the scanners back on. I finished my shift. In the morning, I met the watchman outside. We lit cigarettes. "Sorry about last night," he said. "Just doing my job. No hard feelings," I told him. He was quiet for a moment. "Mr. Abdul had a theory," he said, "about the names. He thought the thing in the vault only chose people who broke the rules. Real rules, laws. That singer, Rebecca Roy, heard she bragged about never paying speeding tickets. Mr. Abdul himself, he was a good man, waived a huge late fee for a sick student once, a kind gesture, but totally against the library's policy. No authorization, just forgiveness. He took a long drag. Rules are rules to something like that, but don't worry." He looked at me and smiled. "You'll be fine. I mean, you haven't broken any of the rules, right?" The traffic hummed. A bird landed nearby, and I froze, because I was thinking about the specific wording of Rule 5. Do not read any other page. The watchman's smile slowly dissolved. His voice changed, went flat and cold. "Sir, you haven't broken any of the rules, right? Some rules exist for a reason. Have you ever been tempted to break one you didn't understand?"